And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are doing the British Touring Car Championship. Drumroll, Thruxton, the fastest circuit on the calendar. They say the fastest circuit in the UK, and in terms of flat out, at least for the touring cars and the minis, it is, to say, fairly tasty. Let's get into it. So, we are on our way to Thruxton, a very lovely and a very lovely track. It's actually probably the closest track to where I live. This is the a preview of the programme, and it shows quite clearly what I believe is now on the 4th British Touring Car Weekend, the 3 favourites for the championship. One of these people is going to be the champion. Who I still don't really know who. You gotta wonder if Jake Hill has another bad weekend. You've got to start thinking, is it going to be either Ash Sutton or Tom Ingram? And we'll get into the championship in a bit, but Jake Hill, not Jake Hill, but it's Josh Cook, sorry, really reportedly loves Thruxton, and there is his absolutely gorgeous car. He's also in the thumbnail again because he's so lovely. So, moving on then, let's look at those top 3. So, Ash Sutton is on 132 points, Tom Ingram on 117, Jake Hill on 92. And then followed by Rowbottom, Camish, Morgan. But even Jake Hill is falling. I mean, you're looking at that, he's kind of about 40 points behind. Completely doable. But you start got to be... if I was Jake Hill, I'd start to be concerned if I'm falling any more down that road. Equally, down Rowbottom, down Camish, they could. And my guy, I pipped all the way down. He's disappointing me. All the way down in 11th. And we pipped him. But that's the drivers. Let's have a look at the teams. Hyundai on 255, very closely followed by Alliance Racing, Ford on 249. Not too far away, BMW. But it's Toyota that are really, really struggling, kind of like they were last year, sadly. But for the Independent Trophy, we have Mikey Doble on 143, Chris Smiley on 141, and Josh Cook on 129. I still think, ultimately, Josh Cook is going to win that via sheer belligerence. When we look at the back end, obviously return Enoch Halstead, Maxwell, and Nicholas Hamilton is 7th, doing very well indeed, I think. So this is the Jack Sears Trophy, Goodyear Wingfoot's next, where Dow DeLeon is 140 for the rookies. Charles Rainford 133, Ronan Pearson, Sam Osborne, well, not rookies, but you know, Nicholas Hamilton is 7th there, not doing too bad. I imagine it's going to be either Darrell, Charles, or Ronan. That's looking like it's going to be one of those 3. Sam Osborne not far off. We're gonna have to see. I secretly wanted better from Maxwell, and I'm sure we will get better from Maxwell. It's going to be interesting to see how he feels Thruxton's going to be. So, in terms of the Goodyear Wingfoot, this is the qualifying one. We have Dan Camish, Tom Ingram, and Ash Sutton. But Dan Camish very much leading that. 2 pole positions so far. So, well done to, basically well done to Mr. Camish. Next up, we are going to be now looking at the drivers, and we're going to be looking at the actual track here. Now, sadly, I don't really have a track of Thruxton, if you catch my drift. Instead of a track of Thruxton, we are going, well, in short, in terms of the hot lap, we kind of have a hot lap, here we go, of the Toca Touring Cars. So, let's then have a look. We are riding with Jason Plato, believe it or not, in Thruxton. And we are going through, absolutely hooning that last chicane. That was essentially going through Club, down the start-finish straight, into the first corner. That's going to be Allard. As we come up then to kind of like a fast chicane is the only way I can probably describe it. It's Campbell, Cobb, and Seagrove as we come in. If you want to know the corners, there's Campbell, through Cobb, and then we have Seagrove. And now it's pretty much flat out until that last chicane. So through Noble, which we're going through now, and then into, which is a left-hander. All this is very, very fast, though. A long right-hander now, otherwise known as Goodwood, which then leads onto sort of a straight, and then which is called Village. It's like a straight, turny-whirly thing. Then we are into Church, which we're coming up to now, which is this right-hander. Then we've got a it's kind of like a very gradual left-hander called Brooklands, which are obviously named after that favourite track in Weybridge, which now has Tesco's around it, sadly. But when you look at that, now we're into the club chicane, let's say. The most, probably the favourite place to overtake down in or up in Thruxton, depending where you are. Now, in terms of the history, this does have a lot of history. It's been changed a few times, but the layout we're looking at now is, I think, from 1968. So, like many circuits, it was originally, it's very flat, as you can see, a wartime airfield, commissioned all the way in 1941. It was host to both the RAF and UCFF and played a major part in the D-Day landings. So, even as you mentioned, with some of those tight corners, Thruxton is the fastest circuit in the UK. We've got Formula Relos averaging over 100 miles per hour in race conditions. Thruxton soon gained a reputation as a real driver's circuit, with its seemingly never-ending speed corners, high-speed corners around the back of the track, where success required total commitment. Now, if you ever played Tokka 2, yes, it's not easy. It is flat, I can assure you, but even in this kind of primitive game now from 1998. Or 1999 even, it is hard to go flat. Thruxton's fame, though, it grew from the Easter Monday Formula 2 meetings where Formula 1 drivers of the day battled up and down. We have household names, though. I mean, we're talking Jackie Stewart, Graham Hill, Jochen Rindt, all were there. Now, since Thruxton has seen all our recent Formula 1 drivers race regularly around the track at some point. In 1993, Formula 1 world champion, but not at the time, he drove a demonstration run in a Williams, recording an incredible 57.6 second lap of the 2.4 mile circuit, an average speed of 147.25 miles per hour. It is now the high speed corners of the British Touring Car Championship and the superbikes that regularly bring in big crowds. So that's kind of like the history of Thruxton. I thought, why not? Why not have a chat about the history of Thruxton? Let's get then into the drivers. They're kind of roughly in reverse championship order, albeit we don't have everyone there, sadly. But first of all, let's talk Nicholas Hamilton. Yes, he's going to need something to, I don't want to say go wrong, something to happen in the race in order, I think, to get some points, an actual point. But he's doing very well in the other trophies, which is not too bad. So Stephen Jelly, bear in mind he's in the One Motorsport. Stephen Jelly, no podiums or anything. So far, I think we've been a bit disappointed. But maybe the Hondas haven't been as good. But we know the Hondas, in terms of team dynamics, have always been very good around Thruxton. Next up, we have Max Hall, who, after his first run at Donington, amazing. I'm not saying he's plateaued, and I'm not saying he's disappointed, but we know there's a lot better in there. A couple of mistakes, mistake at Snetterton, fair enough. But there's a lot more talent in there, and it's kind of like we're just waiting for him to let it out, and I'm hoping it's going to be at Thruxton. Next up, we've got James Dawson again. Kind of like at the back, not particularly great. Dexter Patterson again in the Cooper Leon, kind of like Max Hall. There's only so much you can do with it, but other drivers haven't done too bad. So Aaron Taylor-Smith, he's like 18th in the championship, sadly. So the only way's up, I imagine, for him, if he can. But this, so far, in the Toyota, one of the disappointments of the season is Gordon Shedden. What's going on with you, Mr. Shedden? Where have you been? Come on, please, turn up to Thruxton. He's won Thruxton before. He's done very well at Thruxton. So, Ronan Pearson, 16th in the championship. Again, I want better, but, there we go. Sam Osborne, arguably one of the weaker of the Napa drivers, but I still think he can potentially, I don't think, get a podium at Thruxton, but if he gets a bit lucky in the reverse grid for race 3, he could do quite well. Next time we've got Daniel Lloyd. Not doing too bad. Again, Dow DeLeon, though, with that one win, which is obviously escalated up to 13th in the championship. Will we see him do well in Thruxton? A lot's going to depend on, with the BMWs, a lot seems to depend on their setup when they actually go to the races. For example, in Brands Hatcher, it's very good. The other two, in Donington, not so much. So we're going to have to see what they're going to be like at top speed. So Aidan Moffat, who I think is actually having a fairly decent season, in 12th. Okay, no podiums. obviously, or wins. But no, I don't think I don't think he's doing too bad. So next up in 11th is Josh Cook, who, for me, it's been almost like Gordon Sutton. I wanted so much more from him. Is he being held? Is he being held back by the car? I don't know. But we wanted so more from him. So we've got Mikey Dober, who I think is absolutely having a smashing season in the top 10 with that one win. Brilliant Mikey Dober, absolutely. And also, what a cracking rookie year as well for Charles Rainford. Is brilliant, absolutely fantastic, doing really well. Is young Charles, and again Chris Smiley. I mean, in spite of the fact he's got no podiums, he is currently handsomely on 70 points, lying 8th in the championship. I probably wouldn't have predicted that. Now on to Tom Chilton with that one win, kind of hanging on to 7th, but once again, he's very much the weaker of the two Toms, and it really only seems to be, it's probably unfair, it really only seems to be those reverse grid races and race 3 where he does any damage. Now, as for Adam Morgan, what an absolute treat this guy's doing this year compared to last year with the BMW. So, yes, I appreciate he's only 1 point ahead of Tom Chilton, but he's settled down a lot better than I think many thought in that team. Next up, we got Dan Camish, who is, let's be fair, if this guy had no luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all. No, bad luck. I've got that completely wrong. If this guy had bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all. On 83 points in 5th, the unluckiest guy in touring cars at the moment, I believe. Dan Rowbottom, though, doing not too bad. And I would not have predicted, obviously with his, with his one win, being the second highest Napa racing guy. Yes, but only by a handful of points. When I say handful, I say 2 compared to Dan Camish, but still, he's got to be really happy. So then we get in the trifecta, 92 points for Jake Hill with that one win. He's got to be disappointed with the way the season started. We're 9 races in and he has only won once. Having said that, that is more wins than this guy right here, who's currently lying 2nd in the championship, 117 points. He's had 4 seconds and 2 thirds, and that is Tom Ingram. If that Hyundai is as fast as it was in Donington, which is a fairly fast circuit, it's got more turns, but it's got decent straights as well. Ash Sutton could be in trouble. But it is Ash Sutton that's leading on 132 points, on 2 wins, 1 second place, and 3 thirds, who will feel like he's not really, I wouldn't say in control of the championship, but he's going in really strong. The issue is going to be is, bearing in mind that it's a fast circuit. No, it's not as long as Snetterton, but I can't help but thinking, is the boost going to really hurt him in qualifying? It's going to be a battle from like race 1 and race 2 to get decent results, possibly. But I guess we're going to have to tune in at 3:10 on Saturday to find that out. So with all that done, that's pretty much our BTCC preview. If you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That'll be absolutely amazing. If you are already subscribed, hit that like button. That'll be amazing too. But until then, we'll speak to you soon. Thank you for watching, and above all else, stay safe.